Hey, what's up? Kokatan Luffy here. I'm just doing a quick little video. I'm feeling pretty raw about Death Battle, Screwattack's Death Battle's new announcement. So I usually don't make videos and stuff like this, but I was just like so heated that I felt like I had to. So today I just finished watching a really good video that they did. They did Darth Vader versus Dr. Doom, and my man Dr. Doom won. And I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you follow anything or know anything about Marvel, you know freaking Dr. Doom is pretty much like the lord and master of that series, like, or all of Marvel, like the MCU, like. But anyway, he's really powerful. He does a lot of crazy stuff, whatever. Darth Vader, I mean, he's freaking awesome. Very, ominous villain, and anyway, he couldn't fight him. But anyway, so spoilers if you guys are a fan of Death Battle, but this video is not about that battle. So right at the end of the fight, they went ahead and they started a trailer for what they're working on next. So the trailer slowly starts, and you see a 3D or CGI, Superman like coming from the sky, and I'm like, oh, they're bringing Superman back. Why are they bringing Superman back? And Lord, I swear I was ready to flip a table when I saw Goku again. So now they're doing a rematch, and the only thing different is Goku has access to his Super Saiyan God form. Now, in the trailer they just showed him turning, Super Saiyan God, where he's got the red hair. So he's not Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, but he's Super Saiyan God like in Battle of Gods. So I don't even know where to start with how I'm gonna say this first, and I'm gonna get this out of the way. Screwattack is totally fucking doing this for views. They're doing this for views, shameless. Like, their whole series, in my opinion, has been really good, and they've done some really good fights. And I feel like the Goku versus Superman one by far is their most popular. In fact, really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and find out how many views they have. I think it's well over into the. Oh my God! Look, I was just talking about this, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that the views are over 2 million. Well, the views are at 30 freaking million. It's just it's insane. 30 million views, and yeah, if you look at like the likes and dislikes, they're almost even. So in my opinion, that says a lot about the popularity of these two characters. I would say Superman's more popular with old school comic book heads and people who just know Superman because they grew up with Superman. But I mean, like, real talk, Dragon Ball Z's popularity, it just like far exceeds that of Superman. And I could go about that for a lot of reasons. Superman's an old guy, and realistically his story doesn't change that much. In terms of a character, he isn't very dynamic. I'm not saying Goku is more dynamic, but Goku actually has a struggle, like, when it comes to his character and stuff. And I know people are going to be like, oh no, he wins all his battles. No, Goku gets his ass kicked mostly in Dragon Ball Z. Like, if you go back and you look at stuff, like, most of his battles he barely wins. And in fact, in Dragon Ball Z, he only defeated Frieza. He didn't defeat Cell, and he barely beat Majin Buu. So I don't know, but I'm not going to talk about that. I am just going to talk about how I feel about Super Saiyan God Goku going up against Superman. Now, you can watch Screwattack's analysis of everything. Oh, the first thing, before I even get into that, the way Death Battle works, Goku was always going to lose this. And that's just because, I don't know, you know, I want to say, like, I think it was like in the 80s, maybe the 80s, maybe a little bit in the early 90s or mid 90s. I don't know, but maybe even in the 70s, because I think that's when I think Infinite Crisis came out. But I mean, they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff with Superman and like DC characters, and they had all this multiverse stuff, and you know, you had these different iterations of Superman. I mean, like, literally, Superman has, like, I guess, kind of like a, you know, quote-unquote God form. But, I mean, Superman's just been around so much longer than, you know, Dragon Ball Z. So, you know, they mix him with other, you know, superheroes in DC and stuff like that. In fact, they've even crossed over with Marvel. Superman just has so much more material to work with, and to keep it interesting, you had to, you know, give Superman some stupid, you know, broken, crazy stuff to keep the character interesting. And even then, people are not as interested in Superman as they are in Spider-Man or Batman. You can actually look up comic characters that bring in the most revenue, and the comic book characters that are most recognized. Now, Superman is very well recognized, but in terms of popularity, he's nowhere near Batman. And Batman is actually nowhere near Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like by far the most popular and character that brings in the most money. And I mean, you can almost look even just like at the games that these characters have. Superman has like no games. I mean, you know, games is just one thing, but you know, toys don't sell like they used to. So I mean, it's about movies, TV shows, games, and stuff like that. Spider-Man gets everything. Batman's pretty popular too. Like, he gets a lot of games and stuff like that. And Superman's just kind of there. I mean, hell, Batman and Superman. I think it's Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice or whatever. You know, maybe it's Superman, Batman. I don't know. But people are going to that movie because it's Batman and Superman, not because it's a Superman movie with Batman in it. You know, Batman's bringing everybody. You know. It's Batman's party when it comes to DC. But anyway, you know, I'm just a little biased. You know, I'm not looking at any data. I'm just kind of talking off my head, and you know, all this is kind of anecdotal. You know, my experiences, all that crap. But this whole thing is just, I'm a little steamed about it. I feel like Screwattack is doing this death battle just for the views again. And the outcome, I feel, is going to be exactly the same. Or it's going to be like, well, yeah, it'll be exactly the same. And the reason for that will be, well, you know, Goku has this new god form, but we don't really know how powerful it is. It hasn't shown us anything that can compare to Superman. Like, I mean, literally, you have, like, fucking comic books where this guy is fucking pulling a planet. I think even in the New 52, he's like in some facility where they basically have him on like a bench press machine that has enough like force of like, I guess, the weight of the planet, and he's bench pressing the planet and shit. Like, it makes no fucking sense. I mean, like, literally, if this guy is of course, well, the way they explain it is, well, he has complete control over all of his abilities all the time. Doesn't accidentally kill somebody even though he's slugging somebody in the face and stuff. Like, I mean, like, the stuff that Superman does and the way they write him, it has to be incredibly difficult, because you have this character that's so powerful, but you have to dumb him down and give him challenges to make him interesting. I almost kind of feel like the way Superman stories should almost be written for the way how powerful they ended up making this character is like how they did, what's that one blue guy in, Watchmen. There was this blue guy, I can't remember his name, I feel like I want to call him, I don't remember his name. But there's this series called Watchmen, or it was actually a movie too, and they had this character that pretty much could do whatever he freaking wanted. He was a big naked blue guy. But I almost kind of feel like for character like Superman, it's like it really shouldn't be about, oh, I gotta save the planet and fight this powerful villain. It's, what do I do with humanity because I'm like the most powerful thing? Do I try to just, you know, take care of everybody and solve all of people's problems? Do I institute my own government? And you know what I mean? Because basically you're writing a story about somebody who is literally like a god in a comic book or, you know, a TV show or whatever. So I mean, comparing him against Goku, which is kind of like, I mean, the whole thing about Goku, and you see that now with a lot of shonen. You see it with Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, with One Piece. I mean, you could just go on for just shonen and other anime too. It's always about the underdog, basically, and you don't have to be from a privileged background. You don't have to be the strongest person, but if you work hard enough, you can be top dog. That's what Dragon Ball was all about. That's what it was about. That's what Goku represents. And I think that's why people can identify and they like the character so much more. Even though Goku, you know, in itself is a very shallow character. He's kind of stupid sometimes. But, you know, when it comes down to what he's good at, he's a genius. Nobody, I mean, everything comes down to, oh, what does Goku think? What would Goku do? You know, like, I mean, that's what it was always about. So, and that's why people like him. And it kind of seems like you have these, like, you know, comic book elitists that are like, oh yeah, Goku, he's not that powerful. Let's see him fight bastard Satan, or, you know, or Galactus, or, you know, like all these things. And it's kind of like, yeah, there's other more powerful characters out there, but I want to say on a realm of comic books and manga and anime that's easy to get into, like very easy, it's simple, casual people like Dragon Ball Z. Casual people probably like Dragon Ball Z more than casual Superman fans. Like, it's easy to get into, it's simple, it's right to the point. Goku's one of the most powerful characters in that kind of, I don't know, setting or environment, you know, and he's easily identifiable. I mean, like, you see Goku, you instantly recognize him. I was looking at something with the new 52 and it looked like they gave Superman a new outfit with a t-shirt and jeans. I mean, it was like, is he Superboy now? Like, what the hell are they doing with this guy? It's like they really don't know what to do. And, you know, when I first started reading like the first few comics of the new 52 when they started out with the Justice League, I thought it was really awesome, but I couldn't even be interested enough to start looking at each individual comic book series. Like, they had Superman with Action Comics, and then they had like a Batman detective series and all this stuff, and I just wasn't really interested. Overall, I'm a bigger fan of Marvel than I am of DC. They just kind of have two different styles of going about their superheroes, and I kind of feel like DC is a little bit more old school and Marvel's a little bit more sci-fi in some situations. But that's just my personal opinion. But and it may not even be that true. It's just from what I'm exposed to or what I've seen. But yeah, like this whole death battle thing, I'm just like, like really, Screwattack. I mean, I know you guys are probably hungry. You guys do this for a living. You know, yeah, but and they have some, you know, talented guys doing like the 3D fights, and then you have the talented guys that do like the 1 minute melee and the, you know, the sprite based things or whatever, look like fucking Flash. Like the first series I saw that was kind of crazy like that was like this thing called Super Mario Brothers Z or whatever. But I mean, anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I was really hoping, like, for a new death battle, they would do something like Sora from Kingdom Hearts versus Pit from Kid Icarus, or, you know, I don't know, I can't even think of anything else right now. That's like one of the ones I really, really wanted to see because they're very similar characters. I think that could just be a short little death battle that they do while they're working on something much bigger, not being Goku versus Superman Part 2. And like the thing that just gets me is the fact that they're doing this without Dragon Ball Z Super even beginning. Like, if you know anything about Dragon Ball Super, you know that it's not even gonna start. The series starts before Battle of Gods, so it's gonna have to work its way up. And I don't know if they're just gonna do episodes that cover what happened in Battle of Gods, or it'll just be like an episode, then it drops off, and there's like a miniature time skip to right after Battle of Gods, because it's like, oh, we'll go see the movie, and yeah, then you'll understand what happened. Or I don't know what they're going to do, but I kind of feel like Super Saiyan God Goku hasn't had any time to develop. He's not really bringing anything to the table. All we know is he fights on a higher level. That's it. We know that his ki is completely different. He couldn't sense God ki, and it was just, that's pretty much it. Like, that's all we really know. I mean, there's really nothing else, you know. And the other thing about it, and this is spoilers, so you might want to shut this video off. I'm about to end anyway. And as far as I know, I haven't seen Fukkatsu no F, but I got my tickets. The spoilers that I've seen about Fukkatsu no F is Golden Frieza, which isn't even on a god level. He's just he's a more powerful version of Frieza, our new transformation. He's kicking Goku's ass, and he's in Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan mode. And he's not even on that level of ki, and he's kicking Goku's ass, and we had to come in and restart time because Frieza successfully blows up Earth. And it's like, Goku, how did you let that happen again? You know, like, for real. You know, and then, you know, he blows up Earth. There is no Dragon Balls. I guess maybe he can go to Namek or whatever. But Whis turns back time or something. And, you know. So anyway, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super hasn't even come out. We don't know how powerful he's going to end up being. So what are you going to do? A third video? Like, once Dragon Ball Super is over, and who knows how long that'll last? Like, oh, third video. Like, people are going to be so tired of that shit by then. It's like, whatever. Who cares? You know? So, anyway, I feel like they could be doing other videos. And, you know, they can come back to this subject when there's more material for Goku. Because there isn't. So, I feel like it's just going to be the same shit. You know, the internet's going to be mad. You're going to have, like, the angry fanboys that make the Dragon Ball Z fan base look bad. And then you're going to have the elitists who are like, oh, yeah, Dragon Ball Z sucks. And they're doing more. And, like, you know, I mean, you can't really control what people are going to say, obviously. But I just think it's a bad idea. So, let me know what you guys think. I know I've been talking a lot. I'm going to shut it down. So, yeah, Goku and Luffy out. Peace.